Welcome back to another episode of $3 Down, ladies and gentlemen. My God, my mouse pad has endured so much suffering, so much pain, dude. I was eating some food, just a little while ago, dude. We got some takeout from like the local Mexican food place, and like they serve their food, in these aluminum foil bowls, and I had like a piece of chicken in there and I had a knife and I was just cutting away at it and just eating it like that, not knowing that I was cutting deep enough to slit holes into the bowl. So when I finished eating and I lifted the bowl up, I saw there was an entire puddle, just a puddle of juice, of chicken juice, and all the sauce that was in the bowl just dripping all over my mouse pad, dude. It was just a puddle of juice. It was ridiculous. I was like, oh boy. Oh boy. I wasn't even upset or anything, dude. I wasn't even angry. I was like, oh man, here we go again. It's not even the first time something like this has happened. I've spilled many a things on this mouse pad, dude. Juice. I've spilled juice, maple syrup, soda. Just like I dropped like a whole pizza on it one time. I spilled a cup of ranch on it one time, dude. This thing has endured so much nonsense, so much absolute garbage. I'm surprised it's still kicking, to be honest, dude. I took this thing to the bathroom and just rinsed it off with some water and got the hair dryer and just blew it down dry, dude. It's as good as new. It looks incredibly scuffed, and this thing is probably harboring like life, to be honest, dude. There's so much food and so much just water soaked into this thing. It's a perfect ecosystem for like life to prosper, to be honest. I'd be shocked if there wasn't miniature microscopic life forms currently making this their new home, to be honest, dude. I'm not gonna lie. This thing has seen better days. It has seen better days. I have not had another mouse pad since this mouse pad. This was the very first mouse pad I've ever owned. I got it back in 2017 when I first got my computer, and I have not had another one since, dude. This thing has been with me through thick and thin. Jesus Christ. I've gotten a new keyboard, I've gotten a new mouse, but I have not gotten a new mouse pad. But why would I? It still works just fine. Yes, it's dirty. Yes, it's crusty, dusty, and incredibly rusty, but I mean, it still gets the job done. It serves its function as a mouse pad just fine and dandy. Yes, it's dirty. Who cares? I'm the only one in here. I'm the only one observing its god awfulness. It is what it is, dude. It still works. It stinks. It does stink. I will say that, but I mean, I'm not over here snorting anything off of it, dude. You got to get right up on it to smell the aroma, to smell the pungentness of it. It is what it is, dude. Maybe, I don't know if this thing is machine washable safe. Every time I spilled something heavy like that, I always just rinse it off with water in the sink and just blow dry it. I've never really thrown this thing in the washer machine and dryer. I don't know if I can. I don't know if it'll even do too much. You know, like I really get up in there when I just rinse it off. I really irrigate it really well. Is that a word? Irrigate? Pretty sure that's a word. Pretty sure that's the proper use for it. I really irrigate it really well. Just with my fingers, I just scrub until I don't see any more gunk oozing out from the water. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe this thing is machine washable. Maybe I should just dedicate some time to really give it the love and nurturing it deserves, or just get a new mouse pad. I could just do that too. Just get a whole new mouse pad, because this thing is brutal, man. It's brutal. It's one of those mouse pads that like cover the entire length of your desk, one of the really long ones, not just one of the little square ones. It's one of the real long ones. My keyboard fits on the mouse pad along with my mouse, of course, and I still have ample room to move my mouse on it. It's very big, very large. So when you got something that large, something that takes up that much surface space, of course it's gonna be in the ground zero for any spills that might happen on the table. You know what I mean? So it's just the way it goes. It is what it is, unfortunately, dude. Jesus Christ. Do you guys know what heating pads are? I know that might sound like a stupid question, like who doesn't know what a heating pad is, but I mean, some people might not know, man. Do you know what a heating pad is? I remember a few years ago, few years ago, I was in so much pain. My left leg, so much pain and agony. It was just like raw, searing pain. I was like, what do I do? My mom suggested I put the heating pad on it and just let the heat soothe it. Just let it soothe it. So that's what I did. I got our heating pad. I was in bed. I wrapped it up in my leg and just went to sleep. It felt so good. I went to sleep with the heating pad still on. See, the problem was, well, there's a bunch of problems that I just did. One, I put the heating pad on my leg raw. There was no buffer between it. Usually you got to put like a little buffer in between the heating pad and your leg. At least that is what I am now being told. I should have put a buffer of some sort between the heating pad and my leg, like a towel or something. Doesn't have to be super thick, but just thick enough so that the heating element isn't directly touching your leg. So that's strike one. I didn't do that. Two, I fell asleep with it. I fell asleep with it raw on my leg, dude. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. I mean, like, it might be hard to fall asleep, but don't fall asleep with it, dude. That's a big no-no. So I woke up the next morning. I slept with it all night long. All night long it was on. I'm pretty sure it has like an auto turn off setting, but it didn't matter, dude. It was on long enough to do some damage. I woke up in the morning with the biggest, the fattest, the juiciest blister on my leg I have ever seen in my life, dude. It was ridiculous. Like, I didn't even, like, it wasn't even hurting at first. When I woke up, I noticed I still had the heating pad on, but I wasn't in pain or anything anymore. The only reason I noticed I had a blister was because, like, I kept rubbing up against my bed. I felt something on my leg rubbing up against my bed. I was like, what is that? What is that? And then I move and I see this white thing, this white abomination protruding off of my leg. I'm like, what in God's name? Oh, dude, that's a blister. I just got a blister. I left this thing on all night. Oh my God, this thing was huge too, dude. It was massive. I still have the scar on my leg. I still have the scar on my leg. See, what happened was, I went to my mom. I told my mom what happened. She looked at the blister. She was like, dear God, dude, what in the world? What did you do? I told her I slept with it on. I didn't have anything. I didn't have any buffer, any protection. It was just raw. And she was like, oh my God, dude. Oh my God. So she suggested we drain it. Now, remember, this thing was fat. Like, it was ridiculous. This might sound gross, but I mean, it is what it is. It's what happened. It was fat. This thing was juicy, dude. Very odd choice of words, but I mean, that's the best way to describe it. It was a juicy blister. So she suggested that we drain it. I didn't know the proper procedures when it comes to taking care of a blister. So I just went along with what she said. Was that the right thing to do? Was it not? I have no clue. But that was my mom. And you know, that's your mom. You're going to listen to what your mom says, you know? So she said, we're going to drain it. So what she did was she got like a little needle, and she like sanitized it by burning it. Apparently that's like something like old people used to do or whatever. So she went to the stove, she turned it on for a second and just let it burn for a little bit. She just put it under the fire for like literally like a second and just took it out. And she went back over to me and she poked it. She poked my blister and just started draining it. What she started to do, just a disclaimer before we go any further. This is gonna get gross, all right? I'm sorry, but just a disclaimer. If you don't like gross things, I suggest either skipping ahead or just leaving. I do not blame you. We're going to continue on. It's going to get gross. So she popped the blister, right? She made a little hole. And what she started to do, she started to push it to drain it out from that hole. So she started to press up against the blister itself. Now that's when it started to hurt really bad. I was like, oh my God. But she was trying to drain it and it was coming out until she pressed too hard and literally moved. She slid the entire blister scab off of my leg. Literally, the entire blister spot just moved. She literally pushed it off of my leg, just gone. It was just gone. You can see the meat. You can see the meat of my leg. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. That's why there's such a bad scar on my leg. On my left leg, it is still there. Just a huge dark spot from when she pressed up against it and just literally pressed and pushed the entire blister off my leg, dude. She got it off. I mean, she drained it. She did drain it. She got it off in one fell swoop, dude. Literally, it was like a little coin bag. It was like a little sack of coins, dude. The fluid was still in there. She literally, it was like one piece. The blister, the bag was still there. This is disgusting, dude, but that's what happened. This entire ordeal was just incredible, dude. I could not believe what I was seeing. She didn't mean to do that. That wasn't supposed to happen. Apparently, she was just supposed to drain it. She wasn't trying to like push it off of my body or remove the whole blister. She was literally just trying to drain the thing, dude. What happened was she just pressed too hard and the entire thing just came off. And now I have an incredible, humongous scar on my left leg. So note to self, never, ever, 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 ever go to sleep with a heating pad on. Never, ever, 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 ever apply a heating pad without a buffer between the leg and the pad, because that was absolutely brutal, dude. Absolutely horrifying. Jesus Christ, dude. It hurt so badly, and it took so long for that thing to heal. Jesus Christ, because it was just an entire patch of just raw meat, literally an entire patch of no skin. It was ridiculous, dude. Absolutely brutal. Jesus Christ. But that's gonna do it for me today. But before we go, we're gonna recommend a song. We must recommend a song. It's a staple of the podcast. You know how it is. You know how it is. The song we're gonna be recommending today is we're gonna recommend. Oh God, actually I'm not prepared, dude. I'm searching right now. We're gonna recommend Slumber Comes in Time by Zorn Haim or Haim. I'm not too sure how to pronounce the name, to be honest, but the name of the song is Slumber Comes in Time. The artist Zorn Haim. I apologize if I'm butchering their name, but that's just how it looks. But it's a really good song. It's a banger of a tune, dude. An absolute bop of a song. Really good song. That's gonna do it for me today, though. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to follow this podcast if you have the ability to do so. And once this video is up on YouTube, please be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. And if you want, send in a voice clip using the link provided in the description of this episode and any other episode of this podcast. It'll take you to Anchor's website where you can send in a voice clip if you want to send in a question, send in a topic you would like me to discuss. If you just even want to just say hi, it doesn't matter to me. All that matters is that it is safe to have on the podcast. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you all later. Goodbye.